Hello, everyone. I greet you again on either a Saturday evening or Sunday morning. I am Dr. Charles E. Clough, and I represent the Church of Truth, which is a center for awakening consciousness. We are so open to new ways to think about things, new ways to see things. If you would like to help give for the support of what we are doing, you can find a place to click that came along with this that'll show you how you can give through PayPal or some other way. But we're just glad to be able to bring some thoughts that we hope will be challenging. The longer I'm around, the more I see Earth as a place that the spiritual dimension is put here for growth and education, because we sure are learning a lot of lessons being here. When I started college as a freshman, one of the first classes I had was Western civilization. The professor was General de Laverne. Now, this is in the early 50s and not too far from the Second World War. And he had been right in the middle of all of it. So he was full of stories, and it was really great to sit under him. Except at the first lecture he said, "Now I'm going to be testing you on what I share with you from my experience, and the other half will be what you get out of the book." It's a big, thick book on Western civilization. And I thought, he's not going to lecture on the book? He said, "No, I'm not going to lecture on the book. You have to dig everything out of it yourself." I'd never done that before. I'd read a lot of novels and other types of materials, but somehow I skipped over the books all through high school. I was involved in church and gymnastics. My life was full of all sorts of activities. And I guess I was sharp enough to pick up from the lectures all I needed to be okay going through high school. Not so for college. I found out that I really did not know how to study and how to pull the things out of the book that were the things he saw as important. It was an eye-opener for me, and I walked into something that was a huge challenge. You know, when we decide, or however we are a part of our being here, I think we have no idea what we're walking into, no idea what we are facing as a challenge that somehow we, for some reason, wanted or needed. And from the get-go, it's just hard. When you watch children and you see them grow up, and as you remember us, as we went from children to junior high to adolescence, and all of the things that we faced and struggled with just to mature and grow, to learn how to handle ourselves and be ourselves. And it's never stopped. And I don't need to tell you that. The things that are going on now, the coronavirus has been one of the biggest challenges this world has faced. And we have made some great strides, and it looks like the vaccines are really making a change. But it looks like these variants are sneaking in there, like they're saying, "You think you've got a hold of all of this? We'll show you." Because we have these variants that are actually harder on people and causing more problems. They don't seem to be causing more death, but they're causing more illness and sickness. So when we seem to be on top of one thing, do we run right into another? Isn't that kind of how life is? We have a new president, and wouldn't we like to think that when we get a new president, then we start over and the past is going to not be with us right now? But it looks like our past president's going to be right in the middle of everything as we continue along, so that the challenges that were there before are still going to be there. Life never seems to stop having the things that continue for us to face and grow from. I often think of the many times I have enjoyed the ocean. In the early high school years, I was there all the time. I often would go by myself, just spend a lot of time lying on the beach and reading and just enjoying it and riding the surf. They didn't have surfboards then, we just body surfed. And when the ocean was really rough, you really got tossed around by the waves. There are always more waves. You know what? That's a metaphor for life. There are always more waves. When we think we've gotten through something and we're on the other side of it, we make the mistake if we think, we've made it. We did make it through that, but there's going to be other stuff that comes that we'll have to work on. And we have to see those things as probably the best things that happen to us. How can we say that when it's so hard? But you know what? Who we are right now is the result of everything we've gone through. The kind of persons, our awareness, our understanding, the way our personalities are, we are the results of everything we've been through. If there's one thing we hadn't have been through like we went through it, then we wouldn't be like we are now. And the things we're going through now are a part of what's going to have us be who we're going to be tomorrow, day after tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. The things we do that make our lives better are the things that we're going to look back on when we're through with this life journey and thank God for all of them. Now, there are a lot of things we've been through that we didn't like going through. In my own relationships, in my wife's experiences, there have been some real crises that have been, we've wondered how we got through them. We wondered in the middle if we could get through them. But guess what? The fact that we're here says we did get through all of them. So physical challenges, spiritual challenges, emotional challenges have made us who we are. And who we are can be out there to help other people and change what goes on there. We should never think that we're going to have a smooth time when there are no more waves. To think this is a mistake, and it probably isn't going to happen in this world. This is school. None of us would start in a university and know we're going to be there for 4 years, or if we go on 2 more, none of us would think we're going to spend that time and not have to study and learn anything. So if we imagine that we can be here and have everything going smooth, do we think we're not going to have to learn anything and experience anything? If we do, we don't realize what this Earth School is all about. There are places when the tide is high and the ocean is high. The water flows in through, and as you walk right along the coast, you can see ponds, really nice ponds on the side away from the ocean that filled up after the tides went down. Here's this beautiful pond over here, and there are no waves. And you think, someone could go over there and swim and enjoy it and not have to fight the waves or the currents. But when the tide rises again, here the water comes in and stirs up this other side. You know what? The other side always gets stirred up. It always does. Isn't that something? Wouldn't we like to be able to at least have a long time where things are kind of smooth? But if we have a calm time related to ourselves, then our family is going through something, our children are going through something, or people we know are going through something, because we're all in school. You know what? When we think about it this way, it's kind of exciting, and it changes the negatives. When we realize that we're growing and developing, and what we're going through is going to make us persons that are going to be wonderful and strong as we move on, it's kind of exciting to realize that. I remember one time when I was really struggling with things in one of the classes. It was Hebrew, and I had a lot of trouble with Hebrew. The professor stayed around and smiled at me and said, "You know something? One of these days, all of a sudden, it's going to break through and everything's going to make sense. Everything that seems departmentalized and separated, it doesn't come together for your understanding. It will all come together." And you know what? It did. All of a sudden, I could read from the back of the book and go through like Hebrew is, and it made sense. Now, I've forgotten all of it. But I think I still remember which part of the book to start from back. But we're going to thank God for everything we've gone through and experienced. If we can look at our hard times as things that are making us who we're going to be for a long time that we think of as eternity, these hard times, you know what, can even bring us joy, can bring us thankfulness. Things we're going through because of the virus, even things our country is going through, they're all a part of what we're all learning. And hopefully these things are changing mankind. There are a lot of things we can look at and thank God that it's not like it used to be centuries ago, even maybe 1 or 2 centuries ago. Maybe, maybe the 1600s, 1700s, 1800s, we, at our non-thinking time, say, boy, I'll tell you, there wasn't much pressure then. It would have been really nice maybe to live during that time. But we forget how hard it was to raise our own food, to strain and struggle through not having good medical attention. The people who died on the caravans that were coming across to the West. We can imagine a beautiful trip in the caravans and looking at the beauty and not being pressured. But the other side of us, we kind of let go unless we really think about it. So as we move ahead in life as individuals and as a country, can we see we are growing and we are becoming? And God is in us to help us see these things. Guess who the educator is? guess who's the one who's capturing our attention? Guess who the one is that's keeping us focused and wanting us to realize all the time that we're just in school, and that somewhere along the line we're going to graduate. Is death our graduation? It's sure a big step, isn't it? So we thank God for what we're learning. We thank God for the hard times. And we ask God to help us see that these times will bring joy. When we can see the future now, there is joy now. We thank God for that. And may you find this in your life and in your future and in your right now. Thank God again. And so it is.
Sometimes I'm lost in darkness. Sometimes I'm lost inside myself. Sometimes I can't get out of my own way. And when I ask for answers, sometimes I only hear myself. But I wait and I pray and I know that the only answer is live the light, give the light, bring heaven to earth every day. Live the light, give the light, bring heaven to earth every day. Lost in a land of shadow, dressed in a dark and winter shroud. When will I see the sunlight breaking through? Trying to hear beyond the hate, but the din is much too loud. But I wait for the still silent voice, and the only answer is live the light, give the light, bring heaven to earth every day. Live the light, give the light, bring heaven to earth every day. Heaven on earth, what is it worth to you? How can we bring the birth of a new and joyful day? I wait, I pray, seeking the path every day. I search, I stay true to the light every day. I wait,